Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, seekers of cosmic wisdom, cuddle up and prepare yourself for one of the most loved stories of all time. We invite you into a world where the past, present, and future blend in magical ways. This story, a timeless parable, unfolds to reveal truths about transformation, redemption, and the indomitable power of the human spirit to change. It reminds us that no matter our past, the path to a brighter, more compassionate future is always within reach. Once upon a time, many moons ago, it was nearly Christmas Day. And just as everyone had hoped for, snow had arrived, covering street after street with a crisp, white blanket of joy. Gas-filled street lamps gave off a warm orange glow. Cheerful-looking houses were decorated with candles, bows, and holly wreaths. The sound of children's giggles could be heard as they made snowmen and threw snowballs at one another. Unfortunately, one such snowball landed at the feet of a very mean-spirited man called Ebenezer Scrooge, who valued money above all other things in life. "Clear off!" he shouted as he made his way to his counting house, waving his fist as he did so. "I hate Christmas," he growled. Once inside and slumped in a threadbare chair, Scrooge beckoned over his clerk, Bob Cratchit, who had been shivering in a corner because Scrooge was too mean to light a fire. Together, as they did most nights, they began counting a vast amount of gold coins collected from those who could ill afford to hand them over. 1,441, 1,442, 1,443. Yes, yes, yes. Scrooge counted with glee. "Lovely money, all for me. La la la," he sang and cackled. "Is that not enough, sir?" asked Bob. "Can't we share it with the poor?" "Ah!" Scrooge snorted. "Not on your life. You'll never have enough money, young Cratchit. And as I always say, what's mine is mine. And what's theirs is mine too." Bob shook his head and muttered, "Man really is the cruelest animal." arrived, waving an invitation around to his annual Christmas party. And just outside the window, a choir sang jovial Christmas carols. Together, these things irritated Scrooge terribly. All this Christmas nonsense, goodwill to all men, it's a load of rubbish. Anyone who celebrates Christmas should be shot out of a cannon with their backside on fire, he barked. Do you know what I say? He continued, throwing open the window as he did so. Bah humbug! Bah humbug! Bah humbug! He screamed nose to nose with a little girl in the choir, who promptly burst into tears. Now clear off, the lot of you. That includes you, Fred, and this so-called choir. My cat can hold the tune better than you bunch of amateurs, and she's buried in the back garden. Ah! And with that, he slammed the window shut, relishing the quiet of no one annoying him. That is, except for Bob Cratchit, offered in the background, and whom Scrooge expected to be at his beck and call at all times. Bob did so without complaining, because, even though he earned very little, it was just about enough to support his wife and 6 children. Martha and Peter, his industrious eldest, his humorous daughter Belinda, the 2 youngest, and Tim, or Tiny Tim, as he was affectionately called, because he was so small and sickly. But as the clock struck midnight, Bob nervously asked to leave so that he could get home in time for Christmas morning. With an irritated sigh, Scrooge agreed, and together they wrapped up warmly and headed out to the night. Bob to his loving family, and Scrooge, well, to no one. As Scrooge approached his dilapidated house, he felt a shiver run down his spine. Thinking it was just the cold of the night, he shrugged it off. But as his key turned in the lock of the front door, a second shiver ran through him, accompanied by a faint whisper. Marley. Marley. This familiar name made Scrooge spin around and search in the darkness for where the whisper was coming from. Jacob Marley, is that you miserable swine? Scrooge called out in disbelief. It was, after all, a name Scrooge knew well, but had not heard in years, given that it was that of his dear, departed business partner, Marley. As selfish and greedy a person as Scrooge himself. Unnerved, but hungry, Scrooge lit a solitary candle and made his way to the kitchen, fixing himself a sparse supper of dried bread and moldy cheese. He ate with gusto, taking in giant slurps of some disgusting homemade brew in between mouthfuls. Tusk, Scrooge, your table manners have not improved, came the voice of Marley, whose ghostly presence suddenly came into view. His clothes, once pristine, were now torn and filthy. His hair, once neatly trimmed, was now dirty and unkempt, and his skin was blotchy and pale. And most disturbingly, Marley proceeded to tell Scrooge that as punishment for his own cruelty to others when alive, his spirit had been condemned to wander the earth in chains. To save Scrooge from sharing the same fate, Marley told him that 3 ghosts would visit him. The ghost of Christmas past, the ghost of Christmas present, and the ghost of Christmas yet to come. Each will attempt to put Scrooge on the right track.
Ah,
snorted Scrooge.
what nonsense. I don't believe in ghosts, nor death. I'll outlive all of you pea-brains. Nothing can stop Ebenezer Scrooge. Nothing.
Shaking his head in despair, Marley disappeared into thin air. And Scrooge, suddenly very tired, fell into a deep sleep as the solitary candles burned down to its wick. Sometime later, the sound of childlike singing woke Scrooge with a start. Staggering to his feet and letting out some morning flatulence, he followed the sound to his open bedroom window. Just beyond it was the most beautiful, translucent light, circular in shape. He began to move closer towards Scrooge, turning and tumbling in and out of itself. First left, then right, up, down, and around. Both mesmerizing and terrifying in its intensity. As the out of the glow emerged a childlike face with brightly coloured eyes, flowing hair, and a calming, loving voice. I am the voice of Christmas past. Taking Scrooge by the hand, the ghost pulled him through the open window and into the room. Together, as if flicking through a picture, they experienced previous Christmases full of happier times. Firstly, there was Scrooge as a young apprentice, making wooden toys. Yo-yos, and toy soldiers. A Fezzy with the shopkeeper, a kind, encouraging father figure. And then there was Belle. His first love. Their first meeting. Their courtship. And their subsequent engagement. The paper swans he made Belle as a sign of his love. The love poems he wrote Belle always signed off with their initials. B and E in purple ink and encircled in a heart shape. Seeing these moments brought Scrooge great joy, like he had not felt in years. But then, like a dark cloud crossing the sky, he remembered how badly he treated people back then. Buying Fezziwig's shop and throwing him out. How his lust for money meant more to him than his love for Belle, who left him on their wedding day. Moved to tears, Scrooge fell into a spiral of despair, tumbling through time and space until he landed back in his bed with a thud. A gust of wind blew through Scrooge's
Ebenezer Scrooge!
boomed the bearded giant.
For I am the ghost of Christmas present.
With that, Scrooge was carried high into the air, flying over rooftops, chimneys, parks, and streets. Until he was abruptly dropped into the sparsely furnished Cratchit family home. Once again, invisible to all, Scrooge watched Bob Cratchit, his wife, and their children prepare for Christmas. Martha and Peter were putting up paper bunting. Belinda was sweeping out the fireplace, and the two youngest were pinning mistletoe to a door frame. All, that is, except a small boy with a walking stick, who wheezed as he hobbled around. Too weak to get too involved, but smiling brightly nonetheless. This was Tiny Tim. This is the best Christmas ever, his little voice chirped. And there was Bob, triumphantly carrying to the table the most unappealing Christmas lunch you have ever seen. "Oh, Bob!" exclaimed Betsy, Bob Cratchit's wife and mother of the brood. "What a splendid sight!" she called out encouragingly. But to Scrooge, it looked anything but. Alongside the turkey were a handful of carrots and a couple of potatoes. Hardly the Christmas feast one would expect. And yet, their joy being together was sustenance enough. Scrooge then found himself at his nephew's house, where Fred was hosting a Christmas party full of music, laughter, and song. A gathering where all were welcome. "Do you think he'll come?" asked Fred. "Who?" replied a reveller. "My Uncle Ebenezer. I do love him," Fred whispered under his breath. This moved Scrooge greatly. So much so that he shouted, "I'm here, Fred! Look! Look!" But of course, Fred could not see or hear him. The ghost of Christmas present began to laugh at Scrooge, long and loudly. covered his ears and closed his eyes to block him out. And then all went silent. Together, they placed a wreath of flowers spelling out the letters R.I.P. on top of an inexpensive wooden coffin. And as Scrooge moved closer, he could just see his own name engraved on the coffin lid. No, it can't be me, he whispered in panic. I can't be dead. No. Shocked and frightened, Scrooge began to renounce his ways, pleading with the ghost for help to make up for the sins of the past. I will change! I will change! He proclaimed. I will open my heart. I will be generous in thought and deed. Please, just one more chance. I beg you, please. But before the ghost of Christmas present could respond, the thunder and lightning intensified, building and building until blackness. Scrooge woke to feel the morning sun on his face. The snow had begun to melt, and the streets were full of people carrying armfuls of presents and cheerfully wishing each other a Merry Christmas as they passed by. Overwhelmed to be amongst the living, Scrooge raced outside, shaking hands and hugging complete strangers.
Oh, hello! Yes, good tidings to you, sir! Hello, good tidings! What a day to be alive!
He chirped to anyone who would listen.
It's wonderful time of year. Everyone coming together.
And then he began to make good on his promise to change for the better. Firstly, he made his way to Bob Cratchit's house to deliver the biggest turkey ever seen, along with all the trimmings.
Merry Christmas, dear fellow! Merry Christmas, one and all! And there, this is to yours. Aren't they wonderful? Yes.
And dozens of presents for the whole family.
Yes, isn't there anything nice for Christmas? Dear, how wonderful!
replied Scrooge, before promptly kissing him on the forehead and bending down to ruffle the hair of Tiny Tim, who hugged Scrooge in return, trilling, "Thank you, thank you, thank you," as he did so. At Fred's Christmas party, to his nephew's astonishment, Scrooge danced the night away. He joined in the Christmas carols and even accompanied the band with his own rendition of "Hark the Herald Angels Sing" on the flute. And as the years went by, Scrooge gave away much of his fortune to the needy and treated the Cratchit family as his own. And in doing so, his heart was opened to possibility and kindness. But still, there was a loneliness in him, a fact he contemplated one crisp winter evening as he sat alone in a snowy park. "Scrooge, is that you?" a sweet, familiar voice asked. "Barely," replied Scrooge. "Can it be?" It was indeed Belle, full of the warmth and beauty he remembered so well. "Merry Christmas, Scrooge," she replied. "Merry Christmas, Belle. Merry Christmas, everyone," Scrooge cried out with joy.
I think that's it. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm just going to let them touch down. I'm just letting them touch down.